All right, all right, all right. Hey everybody. Just making sure the stream catches up and that we can hear. Um Waiting for the audio to come through. And it's coming through. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Hello everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the show. So glad to have you all here this evening. We are live. It's Saturday night and we are live streaming. Welcome once again to Misfit Corner Scams. It's the Arsenal's Andrew speaking, and man, what a couple of weeks I've been through. Loving every minute of it, and I am so glad to be here with you all this evening. All right, let's check in and see who's in the chat. We've got Tim. How's it going, Tim? He says, good evening, all from Kentucky, home of the 150th Kentucky Derby. Fantastic. He says, I was in Louisville 2 weeks ago and got my t-shirt from Costco. Excellent. Let's see. Jim's here, says, good evening, all. Jay, happy Saturday evening. Very good. Tattle's here. Tattle says, don't forget to like and subscribe. Absolutely. Very good. Thank you for reminding me. BB's here, says, hey, everyone. Welcome to the show, BB. Tim says, done. Perfect. Jim says, good evening, BB and Tattle. Glenn's in the house, says, don't forget to hit that like button. Yes, please do. Darlene's here in the house. I said I hit the like first. Oh, excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. Births is here and says hello to everyone in the chat. Welcome. BB says, right on time this week. You know it. We are back from the cruise and loving every minute of it, and so glad to be here this evening. Clifford's in the house, says hello, Drew, and everybody. Darlene says hi to everyone. Pam's here. Pamela says hello, everyone. Philip's here. He says hello, Drew, and everyone else. Welcome, welcome. Oops, I missed one. Glenn says, sorry I missed last week. I was taking classes and singing on stage with my choir at the Barbershop Harmony University in Cheyenne. Well, I hope you had a fantastic time. Sounds like a lot of fun. Manuel's in the house. Says, good evening, my friend Drew. Happy Saturday evening. Absolutely. Jim says, good evening to Burst and Glenn. JR Packers fan says, hit the like button. Yes, please. Manuel says, Glenn, happy Saturday evening. Dave's here, says, hello, Drew. Welcome to the show, Dave. Oop, I missed one again. Jim says, good evening to Manuel. Manuel says, hey to Jim. Happy Saturday. Dave says, hello to Manuel. Glenn says, it was a great picture. This must have been one of your proudest moments in life. Just think back on the day she was born, and for the first time, you got to hold her in your arms. Absolutely. He's talking about the picture of my daughter and I getting ready to walk down the aisle. It was a fantastic day, and boy, do I got stories to tell. Not a lot, but I'll tell you about all the adventures I've had so far. Manuel says, hey to Dave. Glenn says, best of luck to your daughter and her new husband. They make a wonderful... may they make wonderful memories throughout their lives. Yes, absolutely. BB says hi to Jim. Manuel says hello to everybody. Happy Saturday. And hello to BB. Clifford says hello to Manuel. Drew, I'm happy because yesterday my hockey team beat the Nashville Predators in the first round to advance. Fantastic. Jim says, where's Avery? I'm not sure yet. I sent him an invite. I'm not sure what he's up to, but we'll see. Manuel says, hey to Clifford. And BB says, hello to Manuel. And I caught up to the chat already. Holy crap. This is the first. Haven't done that in a long, long time. Anyway, as you all know, the day finally came. Not just the wedding, but my retirement from my day job happened not this past week, but the week before. Actually, I did a live stream afterwards. I told you guys. Yeah. Well, technically, the last official day was April 30th, which was this past Tuesday. But after that, done completo. I've already got the email paperwork saying your separation has been completed. Return all your equipment, which I already did. And my company is based out of New York. And they sent me official unemployment verification for New York City. And I'm like, it's not going to help me because I'm living in Jacksonville, but that's okay. It's good to have. My wife actually asked me, she said, so what what do you have to do to actually use that? And I said, move to New York. And we're not doing that. Absolutely not. Last day of work was Tuesday, but the day before we left on a quick cruise. The wife and I spent 5 days on the ship, heading down to the Bahamas, and did not get off the ship. We're not off the ship people. We like to stay on the boat and enjoy ourselves. And we did a lot of eating, and a lot of sleeping, and a lot of napping. And it was fantastic. We loved it. We actually got a couple evenings between 9 and 12 hours of sleep. Oh, it was great. We did go to some shows. We saw a comedy show and a rock musical show. We had a good time with those, but mostly we rested and we relaxed and we just chilled. And oh my gosh, it was so wonderful. It felt so good. It's not something we can do regularly around here. And, disconnected the phone, got no telephone calls, heard nothing from the mother-in-law, heard nothing from the kids all week long, just spent time, just the two of us relaxing and having a good time. So yeah, it was great. But I'm back. I'm refreshed and I'm ready to go. I got 2 or 3 scam calls today. The funniest one I'll tell you guys about in a little bit. But it was the very first call I got today. It was great. But I screwed it up because I was not inside the house. I was actually on my way out of the house, and I could not remember if I tested the recorder on my phone before I left. So I told the lady, "Hey, listen, can you call me back? I've got something else going on. Can you call me back?" So I hung up on her, and they never called back. But I checked, and my recorder was on, so I could have done the call. But because I wasn't 100% sure, I hoped they were calling to help me. I mean, that's what they claimed to be doing in the first place, but I'll tell you guys that story. It's pretty funny. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Let's see. Tattle says, last few months, I've noticed that it's harder for me to waste the scammers' time. It takes less to cause them to hang up. Are any of you having a similar experience? I don't think so. I've gotten less calls. I've absolutely gotten less calls on a regular daily basis, but the amount of time I can screw with them and play with them hasn't really changed. I'll get some that like immediately they know that I'm on to them and they'll hang up, and then I have others that I can play with and have a good time doing it. So it's really a balancing act when it comes to that portion of it. But the frequency of calls has definitely gone down, but that's okay. They're still calling. I got an accident scam call this evening. I got a calling from your cable company scam call, and what was the other one? I got another one that I had fun with, but the calls have not stopped. The frequency has slowed down. If anybody else has been experiencing that, and it was so funny. Somebody I think mentioned in the live stream that they were having some torrential flooding in India, and that could be one of the reasons why people weren't at work making calls. So hopefully they get that crap fixed up, because we need our scammers to start calling us again. We need to have that outlet of our frustrations to be able to scream and holler and yell and curse at people. Because it's okay to do with a scammer. It's absolutely. Manuel says, where's Avery tonight? Not sure. I haven't talked to him yet. I did send him some text messages when we were on our way out of town for the cruise. I'll tell you a funny joke. So the wife and I, we get on the ship, and first thing we do is take a picture of each other sitting out in the sun, and I send the picture to Avery and the guys, and I sent it to my family. And I'm looking at the picture and I go, it's me, the wife, and some random guy in the background. I just didn't realize there was a guy sitting in the background behind us. And Avery responds and goes, I didn't know you guys were into that type of thing. And I'm like, oh, God. Oh, of course Avery would make that joke. But nobody in my family made that joke, but Avery sure did. He's wonderful. Hopefully he'll join. If not, I can handle it. I can handle it myself. I'm good. Phillips here says, snowing here in Reno. Odd on a day where I got 6 American solar scam calls today. Now that's funny. You should ask them, what the hell are you going to do about all this snow? You know? Manuel says, hey to Tattle. And hey to Philip. Clifford says, it's weird that it's snowing anywhere in the U.S. in May. I know it happens in Colorado because my friends live there. Okay. Yeah, we don't ever see snow down here, really. But y'all can, whoever has it, y'all can keep it. Okay. Philip says, hi there to Manuel. Hitomi says, hello, good morning from Japan. Well, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining. Glenn says, have you ever counted how many calls you get in an average week? The total number of calls I get fluctuates from day to day. There was one day where I barely got any good recordings at all. And at the end of the day, I went back and counted. I had over 27 calls that came through, but just none of them were good. You know, none of them they were either dead air calls or what, but you know, I mean, even on a bad day, 20 to 25 calls is not unusual, you know, but on a busy day, I think on my busiest day where I got the most recordings, the most usable recordings was like 12 recordings in one day. And I mean, some of those I could stretch that out and that'd be 3 or 4 days worth of videos. But yeah, lately I'll be honest with you. Let me change what I'm getting ready to say. When I was working, I would get one good call and I'd be like, okay, that's my video for tomorrow. I don't have to worry about it anymore. If I miss a call or if I make the call go short and don't screw with anybody, at least I got that one. But now that the day job is gone, we're going to focus on some scam calls. Yeah, looking forward to it. But I would get one good call a day and I'd be, that's all I need. That's all I need is one good call, you know? So, Dave's here. Hey, Dave says, hello from Maine. Mom and I enjoy your videos. Well, fantastic. Thank you, Dave. Glad you're here. Star Chasers here says, may the 4th be with you all. Absolutely. Oh, today is actually a double hitter when it comes to nerdy days. Some of you may know it's Star Wars Day, which is May the 4th. Very, you know, May the 4th be with you type of thing. But it's also the first Saturday in May, which is what comic book geeks know as our one and only comic book holiday. It's Free Comic Book Day. A lot of larger stores that get weekly comics get stacks and stacks of comics that they give out for free. We have a couple of stores here in town that do that. I don't get weekly comics. All my comics in my store are back issues. I don't have an account with Diamond, which is the main distributor. So I don't quote unquote participate in Free Comic Book Day. But last week for my retirement sale, I did 50% off all the comics and had a really great time selling comics. So technically I had my own little Free Comic Book Day celebration. But it is May the 4th, which is Star Wars Day, and Free Comic Book Day. I think this is the first time in a while that those 2 days have fallen together at the same day. But May the 4th be with you, my friend. Manuel says, I watch news at KATC News 3 in Lafayette, Louisiana, talk about scammers calling people, making payment on their Bitcoin using real sheriff's department, real police. Wow, that's not good. But because the scammers can spoof numbers, sometimes they will spoof real numbers. But yeah, you can usually pick up on them really quickly that they're scam calls. But it's nasty when they actually use a real business's number or a government facility, a police station or whatnot. So nasty games. Manuel says, hey to Star Chaser. Manuel says, hey to Dave. Darlene says, not many calls this week. Well, that's good. That's good. I didn't get any. So funny thing is, when you're on a cruise, you usually put your phone on airplane mode because your cell phone carrier will charge you outrageous amounts if you make calls, and they'll sometimes charge you for texts as well. So we kept our phones pretty much on airplane mode the entire time. When we were in the Bahamas, I turned my phone on just to see if anything came through, and I got a flood of stuff at one point, and I went, that's enough. Click, turned it right back off. So, yeah. B Bernie B's here says, hello, Drew and chat. Welcome to the show. Manuel says, hey to Darlene. Clifford says, like the stream, 30 watching, only 4 likes, please. Oh, well, if you have an opportunity, please hit the like button. Let us know you love us, because we love you. We appreciate it. Jim says, hey to Darlene, Births, B Bernie B, and Star Chaser. Manuel says, hello to B Bernie B. Happy Saturday. Tattle says, scammers claim to be calling from Medicare. I asked, then why does my caller ID say Merrill Lynch? He hung up without another word. Good job. You always know. I mean, spoofing some other number is like sign number 1 that it's a scam. You know, if they're not calling, if the number that shows up on your phone is not the number that they're really calling from, you've already started the call out knowing that it's suspicious. You know, really funny thing happened this week. My mother-in-law had issues where the cable, internet, and phone here at the house went out and wasn't working. So she goes online, or she goes on her phone, and she Googles the number for our cable provider, and she calls that number to let them know we're having an issue, or she's having an issue. We weren't home at the time. Well, she's in the middle of the call, and she's setting up an appointment for somebody to come out and take a look at what the line and see what's going on. And the guy mentions that there is a $60 service fee, and she panics. She's thinking she's, oh, they're asking me for money, and she starts to panic, and she says, is this a scam? And the guy says, ma'am, you called us. So she hung up the phone, and she later called the company again, spoke to somebody who confirmed, yes, you were actually talking to somebody from the company. There is a request for a service ticket. And when the guy actually came, believe it or not, my son picked us up from the cruise ship. We literally live right on the other side of the bridge from the cruise terminal. He drops us off at home, and as we're getting out of the car, the cable guy pulled up. So it was great timing. And the guy came in, and my mother-in-law she said, were you the one that I was talking to? And he said, yes. And she's, I want to apologize for thinking you were a scammer. And he was just smiling. I'm pretty sure they get that kind of thing all the time, but not when you call them. Needless to say, they found the source of the problem. As you can see, it's been temporarily fixed because I'm live streaming right now. But somebody, and we're not going to disparage anybody with names, cut the cable wire from the street to the house right inside the sidewalk in my mother-in-law's garden area. We think it was the lawn guys. But what's funny is when I went out to show her where the cable got cut, she goes, I was weeding right there the other day. And I went, we're not making any accusations or nothing. Honestly, I don't think she could have cut the cable, but she was in that area working on weeding. But they set up a temporary line. They're going to have a guy come in a couple of days to put in a permanent line, but they fixed the problem by just stringing a new cable. But this is the kind of stuff that happens when we go out of town. So we try not to go out of town. At least we're not going to do that again for a while. So the adventures of living with your mother-in-law. Darlene says, sunny, 70s and sunny today. Fantastic. The weather today was beautiful here too. Love it. Love it. Clifford says, I live in a part of Canada where we never get snow past March, and even that is rare. All right. Saskia says, hey, everyone. So sorry it's been a while. No problem. So glad you were able to make it. Manuel says, Hilomi, good morning. Happy Sunday. And he says, hello to Saskia. Glenn says, if you know what Murphy's Law is, do you know what Cole's Law is? It's thinly sliced cabbage. Cole's Law. Very good. Very good. Actually, in my family, we don't call it Murphy's Law, where everything falls to crap, we call it Jennifer's Law. That would be my wife. She's like, every time this happens to me, it's Jennifer's Law in our family, not Murphy's. Darlene says, I had snow at the beginning of April, very mild winter this year. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Jim says, got another call from the Firemen's Benevolent Association Friday. They were using a number from the ASPCA. I told them I gave already and hung up. They were using another charity's phone number? That's freaking hilarious. Manuel says, today is Star Wars in Lafayette, Louisiana Comics. Yep, Star Wars Day. There's a lot of different places that celebrate Star Wars Day. But Free Comic Book Day is also a pretty popular one. Hitomi says, thanks for mentioning my name, Drew. Get a lot of romance scam calls from Nigeria. It doesn't suck. It does suck. I don't know where I put that not in, but thank you for your videos and shorts. It does make me really laugh a lot. Well, very cool, very cool. I've never gotten a romance scam, but I'm sure it's coming eventually. I have a good idea of where, like, the Medicare scams, the healthcare ones, where those calls generate from, because I know my wife has done a lot of Googling for that kind of stuff, but neither one of us are Googling for, dating websites and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure if I was doing that, not that I'm trying to get ideas, but romance scams might happen more if your name gets out there associated with that kind of stuff. And you don't even have to go to dating sites. Just, maybe look on an article about dating or read something. Google is going to sell your information to somebody, and eventually scammers will get it. So Saskia says, Manuel, happy Saturday to you too. Manuel says, I like your video this morning. Very funny from scammers. Actually, I don't even remember what today's video was. I scheduled it over a week ago, so I'll have to go back and check. What's so funny is I had recordings all scheduled out through today, so I don't have anything for tomorrow just yet. So I got to go look and see if I can put something together, because, like I said, I didn't take any calls this entire week, but I have a lot of older calls that may have been used, may not have been used. So I could do a retro day in the life. I think that's what today's video was a retro day in the life, where I just picked a day and there was like 5 or 6 calls in one day and just put them together into one. But I'll have to double check. I do have a lot of recordings, not with videos, that I kind of banked and saved up, because those are ones I can use pretty much any time. Some of those are very funny. Some of those are entertaining, but there's not a video associated with them. So I usually have to play them and record myself reacting to the recording, and then make that into a video. So it's kind of like double the work, because you have to redo it all over again a second time. But I do it for the love of the game, and I love doing it for you guys. So let's see what's going on here. Tattle says, most scam calls for me in one day on one number is 34, not counting silent hangups. I have 3 phone numbers. Yeah, I have 3 numbers too. I have my number, my cell phone, my wife's cell phone, and then of course the home number, which we get stuff all the time on that number as well. Tarkorf says, a scam could happen if she had called the first number listed in Google instead of making sure you are at the company's site. That is true. That is absolutely true. But one of the things I was going to say that was funny is when we got back into town this morning, I turned on my phone, and a whole bunch of notifications from I almost said the company name, our cable company, popped up, and confirming, the appointment and so forth, and press 1 if this is an appropriate time, and but yeah. So no, she actually did speak to somebody, but she kind of panicked at one point because she wasn't sure whether or not she was or not. But the funny thing is she called them, which I always say, if somebody calls you and you doubt who they say that they are from, who they say they're from, you can always hang up the phone and call the company directly. Like if somebody calls and says, I'm calling from your bank. Okay, thank you, bye. And then call the bank, make sure it's really somebody that is calling from your bank. And yeah, I've done that before. I've literally talked to a lady that claimed to be calling from my bank in order to verify some charges. And I'm like, this is very important. I know, let's get this right, but let me call the bank back directly. I'm not going to take a call from you. And I did, and ended up getting to the same department and verifying everything, and everything was good. But yeah, if you're ever in doubt, ever in doubt, hang up the phone and call the company directly. But yeah, you're right. The first number that comes up in Google might not be the number that that she needs to call. So that's another warning thing there. Be careful. Tattle says Amazon scammers asked if I made a large purchase. I said I didn't, but perhaps my wife did. Not getting an immediate claim that it wasn't my purchase, he hung up. That's interesting. You know what's so funny? I was listening to some of my older recordings, and you know how the Amazon scammers, it's always the same thing. You've got an order, $1,500, $1,200, whatever dollars for an iPod or whatever it is. I've heard it so many times I can't remember it. But I was listening to some old recordings from like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's the same damn script. Like it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that they can't come up with anything better. You know, you call the same number many times over the years and use the same exact script every single time. Shame on you, scammers. Do better. They don't. Thank God they don't. Thank God they keep trying the same old scams and calling the same numbers and trying them over and over again. You know, only proves once again they're despicable, ugly people. But I'm glad they do it, especially to me, because I love it. Aaron's here. Hey, Aaron, how's it going? Says, enjoy your content, Drew. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming by. Manuel says hello to Tarkorf. Glenn says, Monday and Tuesday, Betty wasted 2 hours of time with the Walmart back brace scammers. Gave them my old canceled Medicare number. I lied to them too many times to mention. Fantastic. So you can still use that old number, huh? Very good. The disconnected one. That's awesome. That's great. Darlene says, when I lived in New York in the 80s, someone did cut my phone line, had to drive up to a payphone to call my boyfriend at the time. Oh, boy. Well, what's so funny is there's a sidewalk that actually goes around the house. My father-in-law had a sidewalk put in so that my mother-in-law could walk around the house, completely around the house, without ever having to go through the grass. So I don't remember the exact reason why, but it was for her benefit. Well, whenever they ran the cable, instead of running it under the sidewalk like they're supposed to, they literally, there's like a break in the sidewalk. They literally ran the cable through the break. And that's where it got cut, is right as soon as it comes out of the sidewalk. And the guys were like, whoever installed this did a crappy job. They're not supposed to put it above the ground. It's supposed to be below the ground. And I guess instead of doing their jobs properly, they decided, let's take a shortcut. And it was only a matter of time before somebody cut it. So Hitomi says, I don't. Just wondering how they get my number. Well, actually, I got scammed a few years back, and still he's trying to get in touch with me on different numbers. Oh, really? Oh, boy. So you got a stalker scammer, huh? Whew, those are the worst. Manuel says, I watch videos on romance, get scammed from Jaguar, Florida, at catfished. I've never been catfished, but I know that the idea exists out there. So Saskia says, I never answer my phone. Leave me a voicemail. If it's legit, I'll call back. I'm terrified to get scammed. See, I can't be afraid to answer my phone, you know, but see, I enjoy messing with people. But I told you guys how I have to treat every call as if it's a legitimate call at first, because sometimes if you immediately assume a scam, you could offend somebody who's really just trying to help you. I try to be nice. I do. Burr says, I got a scam call on my real number, so hung up and called back on my text now number. They said client service. I asked what kind of company this is. The lady said the FBI are on their way to get me. You know it. The only problem is, Burr, you're probably going to be waiting a long time for that to happen, you know? They love threatening people with the FBI and the cops coming to your house. I mean, that's hilarious to me. But yeah, I'm still waiting for the cops to show up from like 3 years ago. I mean, I was, whatever it was I did, it was bad. And they were sending the cops right away. And I'm still waiting. So we'll see if they ever get here. Manuel says hello to Births. Birth says hello to Manuel. Texas Gina says hi. Welcome to the show, Texas. BB says sometimes a listed number on Google isn't correct. It is sometimes a scammer number. Yes, that does happen. That does happen. But luckily, the number she got was the one she needed. So I'm not sure if she looked up maybe an old bill or something. I don't know if she used her phone to do it. And there was no internet in the house. I'm sure. I try not to think about it too much. It would make my mind blow trying to figure out what that lady's doing sometimes. Don't tell her I said that. Oh, whenever she does something silly, her first reaction is, "Now you're not going to talk about me on your live stream thing, are you?" And I said, "No, of course not. Of course not. I would never tell stories about you at all. No." Try really hard not to. Manuel says hi to Texas. Texas says I always go with the first word in the name. So Gina, thank you. Says thank you. Aaron's here, says they use the same script because it works. That's the sad part, is it does work. Does work on some people, but not everybody. Manuel says hey to Aaron. Jim says, I got a weird call from a pharmacy Tuesday claiming I got a prescription ready. I asked who they are looking for and they hung up. See, that's when you ask simple basic questions and they freak out and hang up, it's just try better. Try better, people. You guys, I mean, really, guys, really. Tattle says, scammers asked if I'd received my new Medicare card. I asked when and what address he sent it to. He said, thank you for your time. There you go. Another perfect example. Very simple questions, and they don't know what to say. Honestly, if somebody who knew that you were supposed to get a new Medicare card contacted you and the first question they asked is, have you received your new Medicare card? And you ask a simple question like, well, who are you calling for? Let me make sure you're talking to the right person. Or what address did you send it to? If it's legitimate, they're going to give you a real answer. But if they panic and hang up, they're full of crap. Next time they call, do the same exact thing. Screw with them more. Oh, love it. Hitomi says, yes. Burr says, the thing is, she never asked me what my name was. Most of the time, they have no clue. Texas Genius says, I'm a recent subscriber. Well, fantastic. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, guess who passed 10,000 subscribers while he was on vacation? Love it. Thank you all. Thank you all so much for subscribing, joining. I get a little thrill out of it every time I see it, and I appreciate it greatly. Glenn says, almost 30 years ago, I lived in a mobile home park. They decided to run a trencher behind all the homes to bury the cable. They cut 200 plus phone. Oh my gosh. That's horrible. One of my customers, and we were talking today when I was telling him about what had happened, was like, he was telling me that his cable comes in from the phone lines, from the phone posts that they have, and comes down through the ceiling. So the stuff like that doesn't happen. This area is everything's below ground. Everything's below ground. So cutting cables and cutting wires can be very common if you don't know what you're doing. And you're not supposed to dig in the easement area because of that fact, without having somebody come and check it out first. But yard work people, dredging, that kind of stuff, they do it all the time. So, Stacy's here. Stacy says, hi, Drew. Welcome, Stacy. Says hi to Glenn. Hi to Jim. Hi to Manuel. Manuel says hi to Stacy. Oh, I almost lost it. Jim says, hey to Stacy. BB says, shame on you, Drew. Uh-oh, what did I do? I'm sure it was something. Oh, it was about the mother-in-law. Yes, shame on me. It's very bad. I lie every now and then to her. but I am a wonderful son-in-law. Trust me, I am. Stacy says, hey to baby. Tattle says, I had a solar scammer. I told a solar scammer I had a question. He said he wasn't ready for it. I asked him what he needed to do to get ready. He hung up without telling. I was going to ask why he called numbers on the TNC list. Yeah, well, one of the ones I got this evening was the accident helpline one, and I asked the first girl a question about how much compensation we were talking about. She says, "Hold on a second, let me transfer you to my supervisor." So the supervisor came on, and I asked him that question. Then he started asking me other questions, like, "Wait a minute, yo, dummy, answer the question I asked you." And he's like, "Sir, how old are you?" And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! What grade did you pass in school? Because you obviously don't understand question and answers, the dichotomy of questions and answers. I ask a question, you give an answer. You don't ask another question." I was really trying to get his goat going, and not goat, ha. But yeah, idiot, loved it. Stacy says, hey to Tattle. Darlene says, I hope you fixed all the phone lines, Glenn. I don't think Glenn was responsible for fixing that, but I hope they did. Well, obviously they would have had to, but 200 plus lines, holy crap. Texas Gina says, congratulations, thank you very much, thank you very much. Stacy, yay to Drew, yes, thank you. Eric says, hello, Drew in chat. I've never had a Gmail email account again. I never sign up for that crap. I get scam emails all the time. Yep. Well, that's part of the business model for Google is they sell their user data to different companies, sometimes legitimate companies, sometimes not legitimate. But as long as they get paid, that's the important part. Same thing with Facebook and Instagram and X and all that other stuff. As long as they get paid. I told you guys the story about how they were reporting that Florida sells DMV records to advertising agencies. It's a way Florida makes money. So, you know what? You're never going to get away with it. As long as somebody can use your personal information to make money, they're going to. It's the truth. So. Tarkor says, I got a text message from a bank account issued while I was out. Went home and checked the account, no problem. Called the number listed back. They want my debit card info. Been waiting 6 years for the IRS. And still going to keep on waiting. Stacy says, hey to Darlene. Darlene says, yay, Drew, thank you, thank you. She says, hi to Texas. BB says, yay, congrats, dude. Drew, thank you, thank you. Stacy says hi to Eric. Hitomi says, the usual scam here in Japan is similar to the Ohio tragedy, where they just tell old people that they have to change their bank account cards. Oh boy. That's a scary one, especially when you're dealing with older people. They panic when you tell them something is wrong and that you're trying to help them fix it. And they will often give information, they shouldn't. So it's scary, but that's how it goes. Muzamil says, how are you? Very good. Thank you very much. Glass Bottles here says, hey, hello, A&E. Hello, hello. BB says, hey to Stacy. Eric says, hello to Stacy. Jim says, good job, Drew. Thank you very much. Tattle says, Medicare scammers told me he was in Arizona, quickly correcting to Mississippi. I asked, or is MS Mississippi? Is that right? I asked for a supervisor. Super is in smart call center, told me he was in Florida. My caller ID said the Bronx. It's so funny. We were talking about split personalities. That's split locations. They're not sure exactly where they're at. That's funny. Stacy says, hey to Glass Bottle. Manuel says, happy celebrating your subscribers, my friend Drew. 10,000 subscribers. You are awesome. Thank you. I feel very proud to get there. What's so funny is it wasn't last year, but the year before when I hit 1,000, I was like, just blown away. I was like, oh crap, this is awesome. 1,000 subscribers. Where am I going to go from there? Who else? How is that going to be improved upon? And then it just kept growing and growing and growing, and I'm loving it. So thank you guys. I guess the next big milestone is 100,000. Well, it took, how many years did it take to get to 10,000? It was, I got to sit back and look at, it's 3, like 2.5 years. Well, not 2.5, 2 and 3 months. So 24, 27, say 30 months to get to 10,000. So 10 times that. Oh, no, hopefully things keep going in the right direction, you know. But yeah, I guess that's the next milestone is 100,000. So, gosh, to reach that many people would be freaking fantastic. Oh, wonderful. Stacy says, hey to Jim. Darlene says, I like the debt collection calls. They ask how much I owe on my credit cards. I owe 0. They don't believe me. I always make up fake numbers just to make it try to keep them interested, you know. Glass Bottle says, scammers don't know my Gmail, Addie. That's good. That's a good thing. Manuel says, hello to Eric. Burr says, I just got a text from my oldest godson. He just had his 9th, 10th, and 11th children, identical triplet boys. Holy cow. That's freaking fantastic. Wow. 3 identical triplet boys. Wow. I could barely imagine 2, but 3? Wow. Fantastic. Well, congratulations. That sounds awesome. Jim says, did anyone else know that those scammers, by learning to speak another language like Spanish, French, Japanese, Chinese? I have gotten calls before where the person on the other line is speaking Spanish. But when I say I don't speak Spanish, they usually just hang up. They laugh and hang up. So they had no intention of actually trying to talk to me in any other language. So who knows? Okay, take a brief break real quick. Sorry, throat was getting dry. Let's see. Congrats, Burst. Wow, triplets. Absolutely. Texas Gina says hi to Stacy. Manuel says to Glass Bottle, happy Saturday. Burst says thank you to Stacy. Philip says, I would like to hear Japanese in an Indian accent. Oh, that could be interesting. Eric says to Manuel, hello, same to you. Glass Bottle says hello to Manuel. Tattle says, accident claims scammers ask if I've been in an accident recently. I said, glad you called. I'd like to set up a face-to-face meeting. They hang up without another word. Okay, that's a good one to remember. I should try that. Stacy says, I'm in a hospital, so have to. Wait a minute. I'm in hospital, so have to. Take care, everybody. Thanks, Drew. Sorry I can't stay. Oh, goodness, Stacy. Whatever's happened, I hope you're okay. Freaking A. Glass Bottle says, with all these countries getting these scam calls from India, we would think countries would give up on India to get them to stop scamming. Once again, it's an industry over there. It's a way of life over there. It's how people are paid, how people make a living. So a lot, that's one of the reasons why it doesn't get shut down like you think it would. You know, they know people are doing bad. They know people are taking advantage of people, but you turn a blind eye because people are being employed one way or another, you know. It's sad. Burr says, take care to Stacy. Jim says, take care, Stacy. Get well. Philip sends a blue smiley face. Manuel sends thumbs up in celebration. Glass Bottle says, get well soon to Stacy. Usman's here says, hi, Andrew. Keep going. Okay, excellent. I will. Glenn says, Jim Browning and Pierogi, better watch out. You're moving up in the chain. Oh, no, slowly but assuredly. Loving it, loving it. Texas Gina says, wow, my twin girls are 26. Holy crap, 26. Wow. Oh, I'd be scared if I know my daughter and my son-in-law, saying that's so weird. They're planning on having children. I don't know what I would do if they had twins twins don't run in my family, but I don't know about his. So I may have to ask him that because, you know, that can happen. But 26, fantastic. Manuel says, hey to Usman, happy Saturday. Tim says, my first girlfriend had 15 siblings, 3 sets of twins. Oh, wow. See, like I said, runs in the family. Have to check, see if that runs in his family. Glass Bottle says to Jim, scammers may be using an AI language thing to speak other languages. A possibility. Saskia says, I can call you and scam you in Dutch. Okay. I was going to say, I don't think I would recognize a Dutch accent if I heard one, to be honest with you. So I don't know. Darlene says, congratulations on your godson births. Absolutely. Tattle says, Daniel Wilson called to offer health insurance. I asked if he was related to Woodrow and he hung up. They usually claim they don't know who he is. I then asked them where he went to school and he hung up. Okay. That's a good one. BB says to Stacy, get better soon. Jim says, thanks to Glass Bottle. Darlene says, my great grandparents had 17 children, all single births. Wow. The largest family in my family line was my grandmother. My mom's mom was one of 5 children. And her dad married, after his wife passed, married a woman who had lost her husband, who also had 5 children. So they got very much a Brady Bunch situation, but instead of 3 each, they had 5 each. And after they got married, they had, I believe it was 3 more children. One of them passed away at birth, but they ended up having 12 total children. My grandmother was one of 12 children. But that was the biggest. And then she and her husband had 6. My mother is the oldest of 6. And then everybody in the family of her siblings, had 2. My parents had 2, me and my sister. My aunt had 2, a boy and a girl. I think one wasn't able to have children, so she adopted a boy. And then the other one had 3 children, 2 girls and 1 boy. So they went from large families to small families is relatively what happened. But we had 2. Most of my cousins have had 1 or 2 children. So the families' sizes have gotten smaller. Nobody went crazy. I think the most anybody has in our family is 3 children. So, and sometimes that's an accident. After 2, we were done. After 2, we said we're done. So, yeah, that was it. Verse says, it would be scarier to hear scammers speak some of the more complicated language, such as the Asian language. If English is your second language, it's hard, but Asian language are difficult as well. I would absolutely agree with that 100%. Pez is here. Hey, Pez, how's it going? Good day, Drew. Hope you are doing well today, mate. Absolutely. Hope you're having a fantastic morning on this wonderful Sunday. Hitomi says, I could speak 99% of Japanese, and yes, some scammers can speak Japanese. That's why they could steal from old people here. Hello, Stacy. Please get well soon. Very good. Manuel says, hey to Pez. Good morning. Pez says, good day, everyone. Hope you are all doing well. Glass Bottle says to Hitomi, hello, my friend. TG Tan says, over here in Singapore, most scammers are from China, and I have a natural firewall as I cannot speak Mandarin. Okay. Aaron says, the police in India really do anything because they are being bribed very nicely. Yes, that is one of those things that they say about in India, is that there's lots of bribing going around. Tattle says, I asked solar scammer Daniel Nielsen how someone with a European name had an Asian accent. He instantly hang up. Yeah, when you question them on simple stuff like that, that's usually what happens. Hitomi says, I'll be 67 next Wednesday, May the 8th, and I have 2 grandchildren. Fantastic. Congratulations and happy early birthday. Very good, very good. Pez says, good day to Manuel. Mate, hope you're doing well. Manuel says, hey to TG Tan. Burr says, my maternal father was one of 26. My paternal grandfather was one of 23. Holy crap, that's a huge family. That's awesome. I don't know if I could handle that many family members, but hey, That's fair. That was a totally different time. You know what I mean. It was a totally different time. You need to have lots and lots of children in order to run households, farms and so forth. Having lots of children was a good thing. TG Tan says, hey to Manuel. Manuel says, I'm doing good on a Saturday night, Pez. Pez says, good day to Hitomi. Burst says, they all lived until adults and they had a lot of kids. That's crazy, but wow. Saskia says, I did learn to speak the English language, but can lose the accent. My mother was out of a family of 13 kids, one set of twins, 7 girls, 6 boys. Wow. Hitomi says to Glass Bottle, hello, my friend. Pez, hello. Pez says, good day to GD Tan. GD Tan says, good day to Pez. Glenn says, my dad was one of 8. I remember my Aunt Iva. She married a man named John Beard. She called Iva Beard. True story. Iva Beard. That's funny. Tim says, I had 5 sisters and a brother. Dad always said they didn't stop having kids till mom got a hearing aid. That's funny. That's funny. That's one of the bits of advice I told my friend from high school when he had children. When his first daughter was born, I said, whatever you do, don't teach them how to talk and don't teach them how to walk, because they will never stop. They will never shut up, and they will never stop running all over you. And guess what? He taught her how to do both those things. Sucker. Usman says, yesterday my mom received a call from a Walgreens pharmacy, and guess what? They were scammers. Absolutely. Manuel says, Stacy, get well soon. Saskia says, Hitomi, I'm 67 since past October, and I got 200. Man, my mind's just flying with these numbers. I got 2 beautiful granddaughters. Fantastic. Glass Bottle says, fake donation scammers are acting up again. They never stop either. Especially now that we're getting into the political season. They won't stop. Hitomi says, thanks, Drew. Hope you don't mind me calling you Drew. I have 5 children and a single mother. Drew's what I go by. So you're absolutely perfectly fine. Actually, I've had this discussion with people in the past. When I was a kid, I preferred Andrew. And when I got to be a teenager, I preferred Drew for my family and friends. Just my nephew, my first nephew, called me Uncle Drew, and I was like, oh, I'm in heaven. Call me Uncle Drew, I'm in heaven, But the one that was Andy. I hated Andy. I had a few people in my life call me Andy, and it's like nails on a chalkboard to me for some reason. I don't know why. I don't. And what's so funny is the few people that I know that have called me Andy in my life, I've never corrected them. So they're the only people in my life that still call me. I know it's weird, but it's just how it goes. But absolutely no problem. Drew is perfectly fine. Tattle says, real estate scammers call to ask if I had property for sale. I asked why he called a number on a DNC list. He said he was really sorry and hung up without telling me why he ignored that list. Burr says, my mother was an only child, but my father was one of 6 boys. They had the less of all kids, and they had 6 of us. Of my 5 uncles, they have 16, 15, 13, 12, and 10. Wow, what a huge family. That's awesome. I think having a lot of family is good, in my mind, that's a wonderful thing to have a lot of family. Sometimes family can be a pain in the ass, but then again, it's always good to have a large network of people you know and trust. Not that having family means you can automatically trust them. You know what I mean? But I always told my daughter when she was originally planning on going to college, I encouraged her to go to cities and states in which we knew people lived. Boston, New York, the Carolinas. I had family or knew people that lived in those areas. And she applied to colleges in New York, in Boston, and in those areas. And I told her, I said, it's important to have a network of people that you can trust and you can call if you need help, especially when you're far from home. For us, we have so many family living right here in Jacksonville. I mean, there's literally 10 families that my daughter and my son could call on if they ever needed help with anything, and relatives or very, very close family members. And that was always a comfort to me, knowing that if for some reason I wasn't there for them, there was other people that we knew, trusted, and they knew and trusted could be available at any time. So it's a good thing to have a lot of family and friends, always a good thing. Finn's here. Finn says, I only got one scam call today, checking to make sure my phone was working. Actually, my first scam call didn't come till almost 11:30. It was almost noon by the time I got that first call. But again, it's Saturday, so I don't normally expect anything on the weekend. So if I get something and it's good, that's a bonus. Burr says, my family are approximately 85% boys. Oh, wow. Okay. My family's a pretty good mix. Like my mom and her next oldest sister both had one boy, one girl. It wasn't till the fourth daughter in the family that had two girls and one boy. But we're a pretty even mix when it comes to that. So, Tattle says, if you want to mess up an Asian scammer's pronunciation, give them a lot of names and places with TH in it. They don't have that sound in their language. Okay, that's good to know. Finn says, just got here. Why are we talking about families? Oh, it just came up. I don't know why. At some point, somebody mentioned something and we just went on a tangent. It happens all the time. Glenn says, those PAC calls are exempt from the DNC because they are political calls. That doesn't mean we can't F with them. That is absolutely true. Yes, they wrote it into the DNC laws. The legislators wrote it into the DNC laws that their attempts to collect money is exempt from those lists. So they write the rules, right, guys? So they write the rules. So they allow themselves to be the arbitrators of the calls that are exempt, and their calls are absolutely 100% exempt. But you can ask them. Tattle says, AKA Timothy. That's right. Darlene says, I have two baseball teams with that many kids. Yeah, that is true. My dad used to joke that he wanted to have 9 kids so he could have a baseball team. Luckily, it was just me and my sister. Thank God. Manuel says, my friend Drew, I watch new movies coming out. Bad Boys #4. Oh, really? Is a Bad Boys 4 coming? Okay. Well, I'll have to check and see if there's a trailer. You never know. Tarkorf says, went to school with Matthew. He hates Matt. Said my back doesn't say welcome. I gotcha. That's funny. That's good. Glass Bottle says to Tattle, some countries don't certain letters in their alphabet in their language use certain letters in their language. That is true. BB says, sorry, gotta go. Getting ready to watch Shark Tank on Hulu with my son. Have a great week. Catch you all next Saturday. Bye, all. Take it easy, BB. Hope to see you again, and thank you so much for joining. Manuel says, hey to Finn. Happy Saturday. Hitomi says, my father's side, 23 cousins. Mother's side, 21 cousins. Very good. Very good. I love big families. Burr says 97% of them are in Florida, so my family is in every corner of Florida. There's not a city that my family doesn't live in. That's why when a scammer say they are somewhere in Florida, I know. Fantastic. Very good. Manuel says, you enjoy watching Shark Tank, BB. I'm sure she will. Randy's here, says, watch your videos and love them. Keep it up. Well, thank you, Randy. I appreciate it. All right. And Manuel says, hey to Randy. Randy Macho Man. Happy Saturday. And look, we did it again. We caught up on all the chats. Woohoo! I feel so thrilled. And we're at 59 minutes and 32 seconds. Did it in an hour. So the other story I wanted to tell you guys real quick about the cruise was whenever we go on a cruise, I always set aside a certain amount of money for going to the casino. Amount of money that if I lost it, I'm perfectly fine with it. And this time, I keep it simple. It was $100 was my limit, right? So no problem. So I go to the casino. Was it the first day? Was it the first? I think it was the first night. And I went to one of the digital roulette games. Those things have got to be rigged. They know what you're putting in. There's no. You think there's randomness to it, but there isn't. It's all digitally done, so you're going to get taken advantage of. Well, I have a favorite number, and I put $5 on my favorite number. The first roll, nothing. The second roll, I hit, and roulette pays out 35 to 1. So that $5 bet turned into $175. If only I had walked away then. Nope, I didn't. I kept playing for the next 4-5 days, whatever it is. I ended up hitting that same number on a $2 bet, paying $70, and 2 more times on a $1 bet, paying $35 each. So I won a little over $300, but I spent the rest of the week losing all that money. But here's the cool part. I put on my card $170. But I cashed out at certain points. I cashed out when I would get ahead, $110. So technically, I only lost $60. And since I originally planned to lose $100, I came out $40 ahead. Yes, that logic is absolutely 100% sound. I only lost $60 when I originally planned to lose $100. So technically, I'm up $40. My wife thinks I'm stupid, and I know it, but I had such a great time. All right, everybody. I hope you all have a fantastic week. This whole week, starting on Monday, my whole life changes. I do not have to get up early and go to work, and I get to spend what I'm actually planning on doing. I'll tell you this right now, guys. I plan to spend a good portion of this coming up week cleaning this freaking office. As you guys can tell, this whole area, you guys only see a very small portion of it. I've got stuff piled up everywhere. Everything is crazy and insane, and this is going to be my first priority. I am literally going to take every single thing out of the office. I'm going to mop the floor, make it nice and clean. I'm going to bring everything back in, and I am going to organize it so that I have a drawing area, I have a computer area, and I'm so looking forward to doing this. I'm so looking forward to revamping this entire room and make it usable for me. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. And I'm also planning on taking scam calls and sharing them with you guys. So look forward to all of that. But starting on Monday, my whole world gets turned upside down, and I'm so looking forward to it. And I once again thank you guys so much. Hold on a second. Freebird says, can I borrow $40? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your weekend. I hope you have a fantastic week. I look forward to talking to you guys again next Saturday. Next Saturday should be a regular schedule. There should be no interruptions as long as nobody goes out and cuts the cord for the cable and internet. But I appreciate everybody coming by, and we will catch you all next week. Thank you again.